Oh no.
It is 10/27/2025. Level Up College Football Podcast in the building. Big G sitting with his co-host Sarah C. Crack-a-lackin', talking yak about college football of 2025. Y'all, we have had an unbelievable 48 hours in college football. Between the games played, some things we're going to talk about, trying to clear the muddy waters, see the dry land, find out what's going on for the 2025 season. And Sarah, I think we're getting closer. But before I get to all of that,
Absolutely.
What's up, Sarah? What's cracking? What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. This is probably, used to be one of my favorite weeks. It is Halloween on this Friday, which is actually also my birthday. So just starting the birthday
Happy
week.
birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's pretty much the plan for the week. Not much else going on. Watching a lot of football. Glad I didn't stay up for the one last night. So,
yeah.
I know that's not college, but it still have to stay.
Yeah, man, it's too fresh. The wound is too fresh. I can't talk about it right now. It's too fresh, Sarah. It's too fresh. Man, so listen, we got a big show for you guys today, and we appreciate everybody rocking with us. Afton Valley 4, Pickens, you big dummy, Tim Lyons, some of the usual suspects over in the live chat. We expect all the people to fall in. We appreciate y'all rocking with us today on the Level Up College Football Podcast. And if you have not, as of today, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the Level Up College Football Podcast that's played every Monday on the KnoItAllz. And we're putting together a production to have something on Saturdays where we talk specifically about college football. So if you like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Join the KnoItAllz crew. Join the KnoItAllz chat, because we gets it in over here, and we make sure we take comments from our live chat. Tell them live chat, that's what we do. All right. Hey, so listen, Sarah, before we even get started, I got to tell the truth. We got a big announcement to make, and I'm going to play the video so we can have the announcement. You're fired! Hey, somebody that we were saying is going to get fired, another coach that got fired, got canned, Sarah. Another coach that we knew was going to get fired, got fired. Sarah, I'm going to let you set it up and just talk right off the bat of what's going on with this diabolical firing that happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I mean, if they did not fire him, I think there would have been a riot in Baton Rouge, because this was just not the way that this season was supposed to go. And I texted you last night, but I wanted to make sure that I brought this up. The biggest quarterbacks that were supposed to be high draft picks, Heisman hopefuls, everything. Nussmeier, Klubnik, Aller, and then even Sellers and Lagway. How many of those coaches have already been fired? Is what I can't. Napier is gone, Kelly is gone, and Franklin's gone. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one more of those coaches in that group might end up losing their job. So that really says a lot, is because your coaching more than anything is based off of that position. And if you cannot build and, make that position, get a star out of that, get winning out of that, you're toast, especially in those types of programs. LSU this year was looking at a national championship, and they're not even going to they'll probably make a bowl, but it's not going to be a good one.
They're going to be playing in old trash bowl. Teresa, girl, what's cracking, man?
Listen, I didn't get the links. I was just like, wait a minute. Am I going the wrong time? I'm sorry.
No, you good. But Teresa, I got to just set it up for you as well. I played it once. Double is trouble. Let's play it one more time. You're fired. Hey, we had a firing at LSU and Baton Rouge. Your thoughts of Brian Kelly no longer being the head coach of LSU?
So I'm not a Brian. I always give that.
Oh yeah,
I have to put it out there. I'm not a Brian Kelly. But let's just talk about just his history. If you talk about that a little bit, I will say that he is a builder of teams. Like, he brought a University of Cincinnati Bearcat, because that's alum. That sees, a program to be a winning conference. He took them to 2 bowls. And then he went to Notre Dame, was the winningest coach But the problem is he went to LSU because he wanted to get a national championship and he couldn't get there. So, I mean, when I think about his ability, because he had the talent, he had the budget. It's not that he didn't have the ability, the things to do to be successful. I just don't know if he were really a closer for a national championship. If he was ready for that level of competition, and I just feel like his arrogance just made it even more profitable. I mean, prominent. The other thing I was just saying, I was just looking at his buyout, and I was like, maybe I need to be a coach and just fail, because Jesus, I want that kind of money. Like,
well, yeah,
wow,
yeah. The buyout was exceeding $50 million dollars.
It was like $53 million.
Yeah, Tim Lyons said Kelly ruined Notre Dame and LSU. Tim, that might be some facts,
he did.
bro.
Yes, he did.
Might be some facts.
He did.
That might be some facts, man. Listen, the bottom line is this. We are in a culture and a climate in college football where, if you, like how Sarah said, teams are in position to win national championships. Teams are in position that have supposedly first-round NFL draft picks, and teams can't put it together. That ultimately comes back to the head coach. At college football, especially more than the NFL. And we have a situation, like Sarah said, in LSU and Clemson. Sarah ran down the list of all the schools where you were supposed to be contending for a national championship, and you big trash. You big trash, man. So my question is, now that you see Penn State, James Franklin go on, Dabble, I don't know how much longer he got, but we're seeing coaches left and right. I want to get you guys' thoughts on who's the next one to go. Who's the next head coach to go? And where you think, like, look, there's no way in hell he's going to make it to the end of the season. Sarah, I'm going to start with you. Who's the next coach to freaking go?
See, I'm still in the same boat with the two that I talked about last week with Norvell and Fickle. I think one of those two are definitely going to probably not have a job by the end of the season. I just don't think that they're going to do it in season. I mean, Wisconsin, finally scoring a touchdown. But, I mean, the amount of blanks that they've had in that column has just been sad to watch out of that team. If you want to go a little bit on the, a hot seat, but I don't know if they'll actually pull the trigger, is definitely Clemson with Dabo. And even I'm still kind of back and forth with USC and Lincoln Riley, because you have these great showings of this offense, which is what you build and what you do. And then the next week just completely crumble. So I just don't really know where their program wants to continue to go. And then my secret little one that I kind of put a question mark, but I'm still kind of wondering because of how not great the team has looked, even though they're winning, is how much longer of a thing are they going to give Sark before they start to get a little bit more scared?
He's my friend.
He's the one that I'm just I don't think they'll do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't end up at least in the playoffs, that they might end up firing him.
Listen, I ain't mad at you because I've been saying it all along. Teresa, your hot seat, do they line up with Sarah's? Or are you saying, listen, this dude got to go?
No, I agree. I think it's Clemson big time. You have a Penn State Franklin who went at least to a playoff last year. He took them to he won the Big Ten. And this year they switched and they they had a bad year. And, he's gone. So I don't know what Sweeney is doing, but he needs it.
Hey, I always tell him, adios muchachos, my friend.
I think it's time.
It's time for you to go.
I agree.
And listen, but that's the point that I know that our panel, our co-hosts, and what we're trying to make. College football has moved directly in alignment with the NFL. The NFL stands for not for long. The payrolls that some of these teams have, there's no way that teams can hold on, coaches can hold on to their job, especially now with this transfer portal the way it works. Now, we're going to have some changes this upcoming season. We're only going to get one window. But still, kids know that they can go to another school and get the bag. So, and play for a better coach and put themselves in position to win. So I'm not sitting around and waiting on no diabolical mid-coach. We're trying to do it now. It's either because I'm trying to get to the NFL. So I think that's the big thing, y'all, that moving forward, we're going to see coaches have no tolerance levels at these universities. And listen, the higher the platform, the bigger the job. I'm telling you right now, we're going to talk about on our game preview this week, one of the coaches that I'm telling you, I think he's out of here. I'm telling you, there's a coach that's on, and I'm going to sneak it in and surprise y'all, and y'all going to be like, wow, you really think he's out of here? He gone. He gone. I'm telling you, because you just can't settle for what you're settling for. All right, now we're going to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
The truth of the matter is this. We finally reached the point of the season where we can legitimately talk about Heisman Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of it was speculation before. We hadn't had enough film, hadn't had enough games. In my opinion, you guys, I don't think we've had a Heisman Trophy moment out of anybody.
I agree. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. But if you had to put your top three together, who is your top three Heisman trophies? Teresa, I'm gonna start with you. Who's your top three? Yeah, you gotta pick three players who you think have today earned their opportunity to be standing at the podium or standing up on the stage to possibly win a trophy.
So now you got me thinking. I have to really let me look at my little list right here. Wait, hold on a second.
Tim Lyon said, "Love, love, love." I'm not mad at that, Tim. I like Love, the running back from Notre Dame.
I do like Love from Notre Dame. I do.
Yep.
I like I see there's nobody.
You're gonna be a homer. I know you're gonna say Julian Sand. I know you're gonna be a homer.
You know I was gonna say that, but I was trying to be humble in my thoughts. That's why I was like, I don't really see somebody that I'm like, they deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah.
I think the Sands, he needs to be challenged. I think that, once we see him in a game where he's being challenged, then I can say, yes, he's Heisman material. But when I look at across the board, the consistency is not necessarily there for anybody that I would say that I would be proud of. But I do like Love. I do like Jeremiah Love. I do like him. I do like, I'm trying to, there's one more person I can't think of off the top of my head. So you threw this one in, I wasn't ready for it. So I'm sorry. But
it's all good. It's all
when
good.
it comes to me, I'll let you guys know.
All right.
I can't
Sarah,
remember.
who do you got as your top three Heisman today?
So I think Love will probably get invited. Sadly, I don't know about the running backs going back into the Heisman. It seems to be a more wide receiver QBs in the past couple of years. But I definitely think Mendoza is definitely going. I just think that he has shown enough out there that unless, he falls apart in the next couple of weeks, he's definitely going to be one. He is the favorite, I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked at the odds this week, but definitely think that he is. I agree with our commentators. I definitely think Haynes King definitely has something to show because he is the MVP on that team. He is the best player on that team. He is the number one passer. He is the number one rusher. So if there's someone that is really showing that they are the most important player on a team, he definitely would have to be it. And then I have my sneaky one, and I just want to see what he does for the rest of the season. But I really, really am liking how this team is going up throughout the season is Marcel Reed.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's my he has a couple little, his accuracy is not great. He's had a few interceptions, but I just really like the way that this team has been built, and I just love the trajectory that they're in. And I think that they are 100% a playoff team, top seed team. They have the talent on both sides. It's just he definitely is my dark horse in the race right now.
Yeah, and listen, they got a cupcake schedule. They don't play anybody else but the University of Texas. So he's going to get an opportunity that Thanksgiving weekend to get his one shining moment on and possibly shock the world. Because if Texas wins out, that would make that game for an opportunity for Texas to make it to the college football playoff. If A&M wins out, not only are they playing for the right to go to the SEC championship game, but a possible number one overall seed in the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. So now we're talking about this kid can actually be a Heisman Trophy winner. And, we all know a lot of times it's the best player on the best team. That's facts. So if I had to go top three right now, Mendoza's number one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana's quarterback, there's no denying it.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana's quarterback is thrown for almost 1,900 yards, 20-plus touchdowns, no picks, and we still got 4 or 5 games to go. And that's not even counting what's going to happen in the playoff. So he's a baller, right? There ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I do have to go with Diego Pavia, quarterback, Vanderbilt University. Diego Pavia has taken Vanderbilt and put them ranked number 8 in the country. And they're one of the only SEC teams, they're not a pretender. Because the defense that they have complements Diego Pavia on the offense. Man, Vanderbilt's tough. That's a tough win. And anybody that's got left to play them, you in trouble. You better show up with your lunch pail because you might get whooped and get a quick BTA, right? And my last one is my dark horse. My dark horse is Julian Sand. Julian Sand has went from an unknown commodity at Ohio State when the season started to where now he might be the best quarterback in the country. Now, I mean, you're talking about, I like the kid at Georgia Tech. I like Diego Pavia. I like Mendoza, and even Ty Simpson in Alabama. But the quarterback that's playing the hottest right now is Julian Sand. And what you're seeing is Ryan Day giving more and more and more and more of the offense. So I like it. Jordan Love's played well. He got 2 losses, but he had the big Heisman moment because he had 300 yards basically rushing against USC. So I think this is going to be real interesting going down the stretch to see who's realistically going to be in position to win the Heisman Trophy, y'all. Any other thoughts about the Heisman Trophy before we push down the line?
Mm-mm.
All right. Next question. All right. I don't want to sound like a homer, but I'm hearing more and more and more SEC bias about how good of a conference it is. Now, in all fairness, SEC had 10 teams ranked last week. Now they got 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get a couple of more knocked out this week because they got head-to-head matchups.
Mm-hmm.
But is it really that the SEC is dominant, or is it a bunch of mediocre teams? Because, y'all, I'm going to be honest. I only see one team in the SEC that can win the national championship, and that's the University of Texas. I mean, Texas A&M University.
Texas.
Hell no, not Texas. Hell no, not Texas. Georgia can't win it. Alabama can't win it. No, neither one. Tennessee, Ole Miss, get them out of here too. They diabolical. But A&M can win it. So is it that the SEC is just that good across the board? Or is it that there are a bunch of mediocre teams that might have one team that's riding to the cream of the crop? Sarah, I'm going to start with you. What do you believe is going on concerning these early rankings? Because remember, the AP rankings don't count. The only thing that counts is once we get to the playoff rankings. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts concerning what's going on with the top heaviness of the SEC for the AP poll?
I mean, it's one of those things that it's so hard to fight against because they have been so dominant for so long, and they have always had the best recruits besides like the top 3 Big Ten schools or the top 3, even barely ACC and Big 12. Like they have always had the most talent. This year, I think it has been spread out so much that we're not truly seeing the dominance anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people are having an issue with the amount of teams that are ranked.
Yeah.
I have an issue because I think teams in other conferences should be on the list, and they're not because some of these SEC teams are. That's where my issue is. It's not the fact of the SEC teams that are ranked, but it's more about the ones that are the other conferences and the teams there that are not being ranked because of that. Like, I don't know if Texas still, I mean, they're winning, but they have the same record as Washington, and Washington is still not ranked. You have Michigan up there, and Michigan's, they beat Washington, but Michigan's looked better week to week to week. And I'm just like, it's the sparsity of the other ones. I love the fact that the Big 12 has 5 teams this week. Like, I think that's great. I love the fact that they're getting the respect in that conference, because I think that conference has worked their asses off to really, really build, and they've done a really, really good job. And they're now getting the games of the week, which I think is awesome. But so I kind of want to see how the rest of the season goes. I think that, it's the whole ESPN, SEC, blah, 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 blah. But in the end, it always ends up working out predominantly. You always end up with the best teams in the end, and we'll see. But I don't know how much longer this is going to sustain, and I don't know how much longer this bias is really going to last, because if another Big Ten team or one of these other conferences win the championship this year, they're going to have to really look at the fact that maybe it's not as spread out as you think. There is a lot of good football, and that's really in a lot of these conferences. It's just like anything with football. You don't know who the heck's going to win most of the time.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't love it, but I'm not like so angry about it like some people are just yet. I'd like to see how this season goes, and then if it continues on to next year and, one of these teams gets ranked 1, 2, and then they completely fall apart and they're still somehow in the rankings, then we might see a little bit more anger.
Facts. Gavin Anthony, man, thank you for the comment. He said, doesn't the Big Ten have the upper hand in the SEC and the interconference matchups this year? Gavin, that's absolutely facts. The Big Ten whooped the SEC this year in conference head-to-head matchups. So, but like I said, I'm not being biased. I'm just saying that when I look at the landscape, I see about now narrowed down to about maybe 5 teams that can win it, maybe 5 or 6. But Theresa, I want to get your thoughts about who is it biased, or is it just that ESPN, or is it they just a mediocre conference that has a bunch of mediocre teams and maybe 1 or 2 teams that can win it? Your thoughts about it?
So if you just look at the top 10, you have 5 SEC teams, you have 3 Big Ten teams, and you have 2 ACC teams. So when I look at that, when you look at the Alabamas, you looked at Georgia, you look at Texas A&M. Yes, they are power hitters, but you're right, the talent is not as I'm coming to kill you. So it's like it's just like they're just squeezing by teams. So I don't know, and then I can say this, but what I will say about the SEC is, based on history and based on programs, based on all of that, the intensity of the programs, which when I'm looking at individual teams, is more intense. And when we look at a Big Ten, I can say, okay, we're coming up. But when you think about Big Ten, what you're going to think about is Ohio State. You're going to look at Oregon right now, and you're going to look at a Michigan, kind of thing. It's what our top tiers are. Our 2 tiers, because that's how I categorize them. I put people in top tiers and then 2 tiers. 2 tiers, the top tier is, okay, you better come and play. Yeah. The second tier is, I'm a sneaky team. Like, I'm not for sure, it can be a good game. It could be a bad week. It could be a good week. So we don't know. And then the last one is the ones that you should be beating. So when you look at that, when you look at the SEC right now, just the intensity of just the teams themselves individually is a little bit stronger, but I think the shift is starting to change. So if we have this Indiana that's going to be more consistent, okay, let's go. If we're going to have this Oregon that's going to be more consistent, let's go. If we're going to have USC start to, ramp it up, let's go. And so I think that there might be some shifts, and you're right. The bias is starting to change, because guess what? When you look at the playoffs last year, where were they?
Yeah,
who's representing? Big Ten was representing. So I think that is the change and what's going on. What I'm seeing, and I think that it's all shaking out, which is good. And you're right, everything is impacting it. Whether it's the portal, whether it's NIL, all of that is impacting. Whether it's coaches, so you can't just be a mediocre coach and think you're going to go to a big program and then be able to produce. You have to be a good coach, period. Yeah. So I think that those are the changes that we're seeing, and I think that that's what the shift is being made.
Yeah. Theresa, I believe wholeheartedly. Big facts out of you and Sarah. And I'm going to say this, and I'm just being honest. The issue is the lack of respect for Indiana University. Mm-hmm. Really, when you start talking about it, the lack of respect for Indiana University is why we're talking about this. Because people, like Mon has said and other people said, well, these certain teams could whoop everybody in the Big Ten except for Ohio State. Yo, I'm telling you right now, Indiana can beat Ohio State. I'm telling you right now, Oregon can beat Ohio State.
We know this.
Both of those teams can beat Ohio State. That's how good they are. Now, when you start saying bottom feeders, okay, yes, okay, we got a Purdue, we got a Northwestern. There's nothing we can do about that. We got a UCLA. They some bums too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the deal is, up until recently, is when the Vanderbilt started being relevant. And as you see, a Vanderbilt becomes relevant in the SEC. You have teams like Tennessee who don't beat nobody. You got a team like Arkansas that used to be dominant that's trash. You got teams that have fell down. Mississippi State ain't no good. Kentucky ain't no good. Texas really ain't no good. So let's talk about the fact of the teams that you're hanging your opinion more on history than you're hanging on the fact of what's being played on current college football.
Agreed.
And that's all I'm saying. And the shift in power, of course, the major networks don't like it because they hitched their wagons, ESPN, to the SEC, to where the Big Ten went to CBS, where the SEC used to be at, and over on NBC. And Fox too. So the Big Ten diversified to where the SEC was like, oh, we locking in with one. Mm-hmm. And you're right at this point too. Don't disrespect the fact, like Sarah said, that we have a lot of these damn Big 12 teams that actually can play football.
Big 12. Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech, you don't want no part of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right. You might not want no part of BYU. You might not want no part of them, right? Because there's certain teams that actually can play football. So the bias that's been forever is hanging on more about the historical standpoint of the SEC than where we're at currently with college football. Your thoughts, you guys' thoughts concerning that. Sarah, Theresa.
No, I mean, I agree pretty much with what you're saying. One of the things that when you come to coaching, and this is why I kind of think that the coaching in college football is going to have a lot of changes in the next couple of years, is I think you're going to see a lot of these NFL coaches that don't really want to take one of those 32 teams because it's really not worth it anymore because there's some trash in the NFL. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of them going into college coaching, and that is definitely going to change the trajectory of recruiting and NIL and stuff like that. I really want to see where that goes. And if you start getting the best coaches, that's going to make whichever conference gets that the best conference, because that always will line up no matter what. Saban was a great coach and got the amount of championships because he was a great coach and he knew how to win games. I still believe that in Kirby Smart. I still believe that with some of these other guys. But that is going to be your biggest thing right now. The NIL and the transfer portal, you have so many different things to pick from. It's going to be about finding the right coach to get you over that hump. And it's going to be which conference gets them. So I definitely think that that's going to be one of the biggest topics of conversation in this offseason, beyond just who's getting who out of the transfer portal. It's going to be who gets who coaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Teresa, I'm with you. Teresa, you got anything else you want to add?
No, other than saying like hell to my Bearcats, the University of Cincinnati, they doing it. They doing it over there. So
hey, that's another Big 12 team.
Yes, exactly.
That's another Big 12 team that can make the playoff.
Yes.
And guess what? Their coach is a super hot commodity right now.
Yes.
Penn State would love to have him. LSU would love to have him.
Definitely.
Would love to have him. They would love to have him as the head coach. So y'all don't get it twisted. When it was Nick Saban in the SEC, all hail Nick Saban, the GOAT. But right now, this ain't what we talking about. This ain't that, man.
I have a response for Gavin. We have seen these NFL coaches coming recently. Look at what Matt Patricia is doing this year. Look at what Chip Kelly did last year. And also we are getting players that are a lot more NFL ready in college than they used to be because of the way that they're being coached and who's coaching them. So I think that the translation is going to be a little bit easier as the years go on because of the talent on those fields.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it because that's what we're seeing coaches, because it's literally pour water and stir. I mean, if you set the culture right, it's pour water and stir. And that's what we're seeing right now. And that's what the expectation is across the board. And that's why I'm saying, like at the Penn State University, Like at Wisconsin, it's just a matter of time for them getting the right coach.
Exactly.
And maybe at USC getting the right coach. And we got powerhouse squads. UCLA might have found the coach by accident. So I'm telling y'all this. I mean, seriously. But the issue is the shift in the power is whether you realize it or not. Now, I'm not saying y'all. I'm just saying just everybody.
Yeah.
The Big Ten has won 2 national championships in a row.
Yeah.
And if you got the odds-on makers right now, 3 Big Ten teams are in contention to win the national championship. And I'm willing to say right now, another Big Ten team's winning the title. So that'll be 3 in a row. So, I mean, what? And the SEC only plays 8 conference games. They only play 8 conference games. Play 9 and then talk about it.
Next year, right?
Don't play at the end of the season, Texas A&M Sanford. Who in the hell is Sanford? Not Sanford, not Stanford. Sanford. Who in the hell is Sanford? You're playing them before you play Texas at the scrimmage. Come on, man. Come on, SEC. Come on. Come on, SEC. Let's do what we do. Now, I'm not saying that you're trash. You're not a trash conference. But you ain't the powerhouse. You ain't the big dog walking with the big stick no more. Let's be real about it. It ain't happening. All right? All right, so listen. We're going to go to this week's matchups, this week's lineup, this week of teams that are games that we think, hey, some diabolical mess is going to go on. All right? Our first game, and Sarah, this is the game I messed up. Because, I put in the text like 3 or 4 different freaking times. Call out the game, who we're playing, and what we're going to talk about, the keys to the matchup for the first game this week for our Level Up College Football podcast.
Oh, so we're going to start with – I thought we were starting with Vandy in Texas. We can start with Oklahoma. Okay. We'll start with Vandy.
Vandy in Texas. Run it. What you got?
All right. So I'm thinking that this whole spread right now with the 3.5 on Texas has to be because you're getting that home field advantage type of points because I just don't really see how that's possible. I mean, Vandy definitely plays it close to the vest sometimes. But first of all, you don't even know if Texas is going to have a quarterback. I don't know if Vandy's going to be healthy this week. So it's going to be a matter of really how well this defense can really defend against Vandy. They have the number 3 rushing defense. So if they can stop him and get him a lot of pressure where he's not being able to break out, that's going to really cause some problems. Their offense is really where the issue is. And that's why I just don't see Texas being at the top of their game right now. And Vandy's defense, I mean, they're not like top 10, but they're in the top 30. Like, that's a lot for a team that has never been in any way, shape, or form ranked for anything predominantly. And this year they did build a little bit on that defense. And they already have 11 turnovers for the season, which has been really nice. Their biggest issue, though, and this is where I'm kind of intrigued because Texas, I don't know how great they've been in the red zone because they don't really have much of a rushing offense, but Vandy's red zone defense is their weakest, and they've allowed 82%. That's why they have to put up so much scores last week at being as low scoring. I was a little bit surprised, but I think this is going to be an interesting game. And if Texas loses, I can't see them being ranked anymore. But if Vandy loses, then they're going to drop big time because that's just going to be like, oh, now we're back to the old Vandy. I personally think Vandy's going to pull it off, but I think it's going to be tight. Yeah.
Hey, Tim Lyons, great comment. Strength of schedule needs to increase. Get these cheese puffs off the top 25 team schedules. Tim, you're absolutely 100% correct, bro. Absolutely. Big facts, man. Teresa, what you like this week, Vandy versus Texas? No pick. Don't pick the game, but what do you like and what you dislike?
I think that the defense is going to win the game in this particular scenario. I think that you said don't pick who I'm going to pick.
No, don't pick the game. Don't pick the winner. But what you like?
I do feel like defense is going to – I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think it's going to be not high scoring, but I don't think it's going to be extremely low. I think it's going to be kind of in the middle. But I'm thinking that it's going to be the defense is going to win the game on this particular team because they both have some strengths and they both have some weaknesses. So as it relates to
big fun.
Yell at my mother.
The big fun.
when we look at rushing yards, Vandy is going to be, more in control. If we go from, passing yards, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more towards Texas. So I think you have to look at really how they're going to play the game. And I think that the defense is going to win this game. I think it's going to be very close though. Yeah.
I will say this, as diabolical as Arch Manning has looked at points and how the offensive line has looked like they have not been able to protect Arch Manning, Texas doesn't have a running game. But what Texas does is they have a defense. Yes. That's fair. In all fairness, the Texas Longhorns have a defense. Mm-hmm. Okay, and defense travels and defense plays well when you're in a tight bind. Mm-hmm. But the issue is Diego Pavia ain't scared of nobody, right? I mean, he's not scared of nobody. So and Vanderbilt has a defense. So with Caldwell probably going to take the starting snaps this week for Texas. For you guys that don't know him, he's a 6'4", 215-pound redshirt senior that's been in Texas all these times. This is what we're going to find out if Coach Steve Sarkisian is actually the coach that he says he is. Because if this kid has a big game, not only do they beat Vanderbilt, but you got a quarterback controversy in Austin, Texas. Because if he plays well and looks good, why in the hell would you bring Arch back in anyway? He needs time to rest up and heal, and you might have a quarterback that can actually beat Georgia. That's all I'm saying, because Texas got 2 tough games in a row, and you need to have that starting quarterback ready to roll, y'all. Y'all feel me on that one?
Yep.
Yeah, no running ball. No running game at all. No running game at all. No running game. All right, next game. Sarah, call it out. This is the game that I screwed up that we're going to go. That you'll be like, gee, what the hell are you talking about? Call out the game, the week, and the setup for game 2 this week on the Level Up College Football Podcast.
Okay, this time we're at Oklahoma at Tennessee. Yeah. So we are going to be at Tennessee with this game. This truly has to be an elimination game. I just don't see if either team loses. Like, it would be hard to say that they deserve any form of a ranking. Definitely a playoff. Oklahoma, that was not great. That was a little bit of a struggle last week. And that was kind of, I was a little disappointed that they let Ole Miss's offense really just put a number on them. Coming into this season, the beginning, that defense has been great. I mean, they're still ranked super, super high. I mean, they have overall, it's number 6, number 5 in scoring defense, number 6 in rushing defense, 10 in passing. But this was an interesting stat that I just found. They had 16 missed tackles this last game. They are ranked 84th in that ranking of missed tackles on a team. That's not something that I would be super proud of whenever you have such a high ranking defense and you're playing, again, another super high scoring offense. Tennessee does not have a defense this year. Last year they did. This year they don't. They're letting these teams score 30, sometimes 40 points. But the thing is that they scored 56 last week. So it's going to be about really who the heck can put the most numbers in that column and end up winning this game. Who's going to get the most touchdowns? Who's going to get the most even field goals? I mean, Tennessee, number 3 offense, number 2 scoring offense, because truly it's disturbing. Last week they had 3 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns. So it's it's just insane how explosive this offense is. So we're going with an extremely explosive offense and a very good defense. I just don't know if I can call them great anymore. And if they miss tackles on that wide receiver, on these 3 really good running backs, and if Aguilar doesn't have any pressure on him in this entire game, that's all he's going to throw is dimes. So it's going to be an interesting game. I really like both of these teams and watching them. I think they both have their entertaining moments. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a super high scoring game, but I actually think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Yeah.
Teresa, me and Sarah talked. I think I sent you the message too. This is the Pretenders Bowl. Yes. I'm telling. Listen, one of these teams is not the same. One of these teams don't deserve to be ranked. The Oklahoma versus Tennessee, one of them's going to take a loss, and one of them's adios muchachos from even looking, trying to think they're going to get to the college football playoff. Your thoughts or your thinking concerning Oklahoma versus Tennessee this week?
See, y'all be cheating. Y'all don't be having me in the text. I need to have these conversations with y'all, so I'll be on top of it like y'all. But I will say that when we look at Oklahoma and Tennessee, Tennessee is like spread apart. On all cylinders. When we look at defense or we look on offense, I think that there is it Bishop who, that running back. I think that he's going to be awesome. Monster. I think that he's going to shoot it out for them. And I think that when you look at the receivers, is it Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil is the quarterback for Tennessee.
Aguilar is
the quarterback. So Brazil is the wide receiver.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that if he comes and shows up, I think that the offense for Tennessee is going to outplay Oklahoma. I think it is going to be a close game, but I think that Tennessee is like going to powerhouse over Oklahoma. I don't think it's going to be a good game for Oklahoma.
Teresa, I'm with you on this, and I'm going to tell you something. Whether y'all understand it or not, Tennessee has a first-round corner. The kid's last name is McCoy. For all these NFL teams that think you need a first-round corner, go check out them film that McCoy's going to put up on the next several weeks, right? And I think Oklahoma is in trouble. The quarterback has digressed since he came back from an injury. His hand is still not right. He can't throw the deep pass. And they know that they're one-dimensional. So, like I said, we're not going to do the pick, but we're going to talk about just say, Boomer Sooner, it's adios muchachos for you. Coming up real short, fast, in a hurry for you after this. Because I don't think, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think Oklahoma wins another game. I looked at their schedule, I looked out, and I was like, there's no freaking way they're going to win another game. All right? So now, Ahmad said Brett Vegetables. What kind of diabolical mess is that? Brett Vegetables, come on, bro. That's low ball. Big Pun said, sorry I'm late. OSU was idle. I figured Yins would have nothing to talk about. No, we got a lot to talk about because we talking about college football over here, Big Pun. All right.
It was a boring weekend though.
This is because it wasn't no Buckeyes. This is the sneaky game. This game could get real sexual real fast. Right? I'm just telling y'all, this game is sneaky. All right? Florida looks different now that they have their tools. They look different. They play the Bulldogs. Georgia's trying to separate themselves and join the upper echelon conversation with Texas A&M and Georgia being the top dogs in the SEC. I don't know about all that. The cocktail party, traditionally, they get it in. So, Teresa, I'm asking, what you think about Florida and Georgia?
Okay, so I'm thinking, I would normally not think this, but I am thinking Florida is the heavy runner in this one. I think that when you look at stats back to back, Florida has a little bit of an edge. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a sneak peek where Georgia's going to go down. I think they're going to go down. I think that, when you look at their quarterback, their quarterbacks are kind of about coming in about the same. But when you look at receiving yards compared to their running backs, Florida has more of an edge. So, I think that, that's going to be something that's going to play out. Receiving yards, they might be a little bit, but Florida has a little bit more. I just think that Florida has the edge, and I think that they're going to go in. I think the other part of it is that when you think of the momentum and you think about the psychology of the game, everybody's counted Florida out, and I think Florida is ready to show we here, you're gonna feel us. And I think that even in some of the games in the past couple of weeks, you still, they might have lost, but you still felt them. So I think that Florida is going to be that game. Yeah,
Sarah, your thoughts with this? What they don't even call it the cocktail party no more. They still got in trouble for licensing and all that stuff, but they be getting bent down there, man. It's the world's largest cocktail party. It's played in Jacksonville, Florida, which is in the middle between Athens and freaking Gainesville. They play it every year like that. The world's largest cocktail party used to be a huge rival. Georgia Bulldogs and Florida Gators.
So I think that the most interesting part out of this is that they're both coming off a bye, and this is the first game that Florida is playing off of a bye and their coach being fired. So they're going to come in hot. There is one team that I really, really think had a really good connection with their coach. I think Florida did. I don't think that they are probably as relieved as some of these other teams might possibly be when he got fired. They played hard for Napier. They might not have been as well, like they're not as good of a team, but still, like they really, really played hard for that coach. So I'm wondering if they're going to come in here and be like, we want to prove that this wasn't deserved. We want to prove that our quarterback might have struggled because he's been injured. So it's going to get interesting. I think this is why the SEC, because these games are always super interesting. It's always entertaining because there's always one team always hates the other team. There's never a team that like respects that other team in that conference. They all hate each other, and it's amazing to watch because it gets always super heated and everything like that. Georgia definitely does not have the defense of past, so that has definitely been a struggle for them. But I actually really do like Gunnar Stockton. I think that he is playing super clean, and he can just continue to stay error-proof and upright. I think that they have someone that is going to definitely put up those points. He still only has one interception. He has a 70% completion rate, and he also can move. He's got legs. Like, he can definitely run. You got two dual quarterbacks in this game, so that always makes it entertaining.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I didn't even realize this year, but Georgia's not getting heavily penalized either.
No.
Which is extremely, and that might be because their defense isn't as like hard-nosed this year. They own time of possession. So it's going to get interesting to see how this defense can really contain some of the actual talent that is on Florida's offense, because if Lagway gets away from you, you're going to have some problems. They don't have those strong defensive ends like they normally do. They do have two really good linebackers. They both have 3 sacks each. So it's just going to be, and secondly, getting the defense off the field. This offense needs to not leave them on the field for as long, because what their biggest issue and what I found today was that, or actually yesterday, was that their third down conversions, they're allowing so that keeps your defense on the field way longer than it should be. And then they're getting tired. And that's why a lot of times in the end of these games, they get a little bit closer. They're still winning, but they're letting these offenses really come in, and Florida could really use that to their advantage. So it's going to be an interesting cocktail party. I love the fact that it's neutral. I think that's great. And this is what it is. This is why the SEC is the SEC, because these games are always going to be entertaining. These games are always going to get interesting. And there's always going to be a player that you're like, holy, this kid's going to the NFL next year. Like, that's just so.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all, I agree with everything you guys said. But Sarah, there's one thing to stick out what you said. Will Florida play for the coach that got fired? I believe they will. And I believe they have the horses. Brown, Dallas Wilson, the other Eugene Wilson, Jaden Ball, the running back for Florida. There's some dogs. DJ Langway is a dog, right? Georgia better buckle up, because this game is going to get nasty. And I think they're going to score a whole lot of points this week. So I got respect for Georgia. But don't think Florida can't come in there and just get you. Don't think they can't, because they got the weapons. And if you guys have not seen Dallas Wilson yet, the kid is unbelievable. The wide receiver, he reminds me a lot of Jeremiah Smith. Mm-hmm. He looked like Jeremiah Smith. Mm-hmm. Oh, when you have a weapon like that on the outside, man, look. And like I said, Jaden Ball, he got about 700 yards rushing. Look for him to have a big game rushing against Georgia, too. So I don't know. We'll talk about a predicted score come Saturday. But right now, it's going to be a lot closer than what you think. People talking about they're going to win by 25. Ain't no way in hell, Rob.
Oh, heck, you know.
Ain't that good. George. Ain't no way in hell Georgia going to win by 10. It ain't that good. All right, now look, we're going to go to the game that everybody going to say, why y'all talking about this bias and all whatever else? Hell, we ain't talking about my Buckeyes for about 3-4 weeks.
I agree.
This was supposed to be the game that was going to be the setup.
That's what
right? Penn State fell apart at the wheels. But let me tell you something about Penn State. When a wounded animal is dangerous, their season is saved if they pop the Buckeye boys. And if y'all don't know, LeBron James just gave special uniform and special shoes.
We saw that.
And everything. Oh, they go hard in the paint. They go hard in the paint. LeBron James hooked them boys up for this game. Penn State, Ohio State. Sarah, your thoughts, Penn State, Ohio State.
So, yeah, I'm actually really, really upset that this game is not as highly touted as it originally would have come into this season, because Ohio State's schedule, this was the big game for close to the end of the year. And I would have really appreciated to have a little bit of a game. Now, definitely the wounded animal is definitely going to be a thing. I do have to say, just, one kind of thing, it kind of has to do with the fact why I'm wearing green today. I think that with the Jets winning this past week, this game's going to mean a lot in the heart of Ohio State right now because of what just happened this past week. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a legacy out of that school. And I mean, I was beside myself for probably 2 straight days. Because I was a big fan of his when he was on the Jets. It's what I actually really enjoyed the Jets. I'm still a Steelers fan through and through, but that one really hurts. And I think that might bring a little bit of extra, oomph to this team. I think that this is going to be Sayan's, welcome to the Heisman talk conversation if he plays a really good game. And I still Penn State. It's just this, I don't know anything about this quarterback. He didn't play well in his first game. So I don't have a lot of faith in this kid. I do really like their running back, Allen. I think that he definitely is the talent on that offense right now. They're coming, again, they're both coming off bye weeks, which is definitely something that matters. But I just think that some of the talent on Ohio State's offense and defense is just it's better. Penn State's got a really, really great pass defense. So they're definitely going to be putting a lot of pressure on a lot of our wide receivers. Smith and Tate one of them will get double coverage in almost every single scheme. But we still have this Bo Jackson kid. We really have built up this running offense. So I'd really like to see this. And this defense they are just continuously proving how great they are. I think that, there's definitely, I don't even know how many, top 10 draft picks on this defense. I mean, they're
at least three.
Insane. They're number one in everything. They're overall scoring, third down, red zone. The only thing that they are lacking is that they don't have a lot of takeaways. But I don't find that to be as big of an issue. But I mean, I definitely think they'll just get an easy interception because this kid hasn't even thrown a touchdown yet. So that's what makes me kind of nervous for this game to kind of just not be as entertaining as I would really, really love it to be, because I don't really know what we're going to be getting out of Penn State's offense. I think this is another team. They definitely wanted to play hard for their coach, but it's not the same Penn State this year. It's not the number 2, number 1 ranked team at the beginning of the season. And it's going to be tough to watch if it goes as bad as I think it might go.
Facts. Now, weather's going to be a factor. It's going to be raining like cats and dogs. That affects the passing game. Teresa, does Penn State got a chance in hell to beat the Buckeyes?
Even when they had Franklin, I didn't think they had a chance in hell. So, it is what it is. But what I really do think, I really agree with both of you when it comes to the psychological aspect of both teams. I think that that's going to play a big piece in the game. Unfortunately, Franklin was a player's coach. So his players loved him. And the fact that he's not there, I think that it's a shift. Yeah, you said, about the hurt dog, but I just feel like the psychological piece of not having your coach there that you were under, I think that it takes a toll on a team, period. And so I think that psychologically, if they can build up the strength, it would be great. But I think that overall, Ohio State really, really, really has the strength and I think that it's just going to be a game where, for me, Stan needs to just show up. I just want him to just, with these games with Ohio State, the thing that I really would love to see is just the blowouts. Like, this is a Penn State that is talented. I think that they need to do a blowout because they need to show, like, no, we for real. Because they always say we don't have a strong platform as it's coming up, and we have played some teams that have not been ranked. So I think that and we performed, but I don't think we performed yet. So maybe this is the show out game, and that's what I would want to see from Ohio State.
Yeah, agreed. I think that based on what Indiana did against UCLA and putting up 56 points, Ohio State has to blow the doors off of Penn State this week.
Exactly.
And they have the ability to do it, but in rainy, bad weather, Tim Lyons said 50 points. There's no way in hell they're doing that. But they could beat them 38-3. Mm-hmm. They could beat them 44-10. They could beat them something like that. Hey, I want to acknowledge Rob Brightfoot, man. Sarah, I watched the Jake Osmond podcast. So sorry for their loss. Yeah, prayers to the Mangold family. Nick Mangold is a legacy Ohio State football player. Mm-hmm. He started a trend of great centers that was lost for a while. After Nick Mangold, you got LaCharles Bentley, and it just keeps going on and on and on. But Mangold was a true Buckeye. He will surely be lost. Prayers for the Mangold family, man. We appreciate it, and thank you for what all you did for the Ohio State University, man. Thank you for what you did, man. All right, so listen, we got our game of the week, which most people don't know. And now they're probably like, why'd y'all pick this game? Because it is.
Because it's good.
I think it's the best game of the week. The Utah Utes, ranked number 24 in the country. Cincinnati Bearcats walking to Utah. An East Coast team traveling west. For you guys that don't know, Cincinnati has a lot of former Ohio State Buckeyes, including Evan Pryor, running back, that leads them in rushing. That's a Buckeye. Right, so they got a squad in Cincinnati like I ain't seen in a long time. This game is really, in my opinion, for the first team that catches their ticket to the Big 12 championship game. Your thoughts, Theresa, with Utah versus Cincinnati Bearcats?
Okay, so I'm biased. I am a Bearcat, so of course I'm gonna go for my team anyway. But I will say that Utah really is coming to play. Like it's not something that we can just brush off and be like, okay, Cincinnati is going, plump, especially after last week. They're not going to blow them out like last week. I think that, one of the things that you talked about, the running back with Pryor, but you also got to talk about the running back Parker because he's putting up some stats too. So I think that, I'm hoping that we go in and do it. I think it's just going to be a good game. I think it's one of them games. It's going to be one of those things. Like, what was that Texas Texas game when it was like hitting each other back and forth? I think that's what this game is going to be. But I think that if I look at the team who is the stronger matchup, they might be kind of equal. But I'm going. The Bearcats are. My bias. I have to go with my Bearcats.
That's big bias, but we feel you though. You root for your girl. Do your thing. I ain't mad at you. So, root for the Bearcats. Sarah, Bearcats, Utah, game of the week for the Level Up podcast. What you got?
100%. I mean, even game day is going to this game, which I love the fact that they're doing this. This is great. I think this is pretty much going to be Cincy's card check. If they win this game, I think they're going to end up probably in the Big 12 championship game. I have a lot. I really like this team. They're 5-0 right now in the Big 12. And their only loss was against that in week 0 against Nebraska. And now both teams, their wins have not been super impressive on who they beat. Cincy has beat Iowa State and Baylor. Those are probably their two biggest ones. Utah has beat Colorado and Arizona State, who then, is the only team to beat Texas Tech. But I really, really like this Cincinnati offense. I think this quarterback is like sneaky.
Sorsby, yeah, Sorsby's
like,
the dog.
It's sad that until you started to see, oh wait, they're 7-1. Did anyone really even talk about this kid? I wasn't aware of this kid. I mean, Cincinnati's always there in the background a little bit because, the Kelsey brothers and everything like that. But like after last year, I just kind of they've been set to the side. And then I started watching the highlights this past week, and this team is just, it's impressive. And I really like the fact that they're really putting in some effort in this Big 12. I'm just impressed right now with the Big 12. I think I agree. Really, really talented and spread out talented. And I think that it's definitely going to be a close game. I mean, Utah I don't know. Dampier's good. I like his dual offense. I think that he's definitely, the number one with Parker and him rushing is definitely like something that you definitely need to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And they are definitely able to score and everything like that. I just don't know who's going to outscore who. These home games are always a little different. So definitely them being at home is something. So I'm really intrigued. I think Utah's defense is a little bit stronger right now. I don't know a lot about Cincinnati's defense. They have a really good defensive end on Utah, who already has 9.5 sacks this season.
Exactly.
He's an NFL player. He's an NFL player.
I mean, if he gets enough pressure on Sorsby, it'll get interesting. But if he can stay super accurate, it's going to be I love Big 12 games. I think, they definitely have built these defenses a lot better. It's not just the high flying offenses anymore. Yeah. So it's going to be but truly it's going to probably end up being who, can really keep the ball clean and not have any, not a lot of penalties, not turnovers, stuff like that, because those are the way these games sometimes can go. And if they keep Sorsby up, I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring, high flying game.
Yeah, I believe it. I think, like I said, there's not an accident or a reason we're highlighting this as the game of the week. This has major conference championship potential written all over it. And if you haven't watched the Cincinnati Bearcats all year, they are a team not to be played with. But the deal is they're going into an environment that's hostile. Utah is hostile, right? And can they get past that initial wave where you can't hear yourself? You can't even think in there. If they can survive that initial wave, this is going to be a great game. But I think either way, they're going to land blow for blow. They're going to go back and forth, until in that fourth quarter, there's going to be a decision made about who the team that's going to win the game is going to show up and prevail. So, y'all went to the end of our play.
I was just going to say, and don't sneeze on Cincinnati's defense. I mean, they have a quarterback by Golday who is bringing them down. So he has 67 tackles right now. So, I mean, we can't just sneeze at their defense. Their defense is just strong. But you're right. They're going to them, and it is going to be an environment thing. But I'm still going for my Bearcats. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. You get a big bias. But, Theresa, I'm with you. I'm telling you, you got to cheer for them. Hey, they're from Ohio. I'm down with them anyway.
Yeah.
They're from Ohio. So, but I want to see if an East Coast team can go west and win big. All right, y'all. We're to the end of the podcast. Final thoughts, final things. Sarah, Theresa, what you got? Theresa, I'm going to start with you with your final thoughts concerning this week's edition of the Level Up College Football Podcast.
I love the conversation about the changes in conferences. I love the conversation about coaching because coaching is changing. And you can't be just a sleeper coach and think that you're going to just show up and do things. So I love how college football, I prefer college over pro because it's so unpredictable and the talents are growing and you get to see them and those kids are going to play hard regardless. So I think unlike last year, it was kind of like there was nobody that I would say, okay, it was outstanding. This year's kind of is an even playing. I think Ohio State is outranking. There's a space there, but I think that they need to be challenged. So when they're challenged, let's see if they're going to still show up. So I won't be too biased in that. Yes, I'm going with my Cincinnati Bearcats. Just a small little note. When I went to UC back in the 90s, we were a horrible football team. One year I was so embarrassed. We lost like three to like it was like 82, and I was in Mississippi.
God.
I know I was in Mississippi with my family, and they were like, "Is that your spoon?" I was like, "Yes." So I am proud, for these past couple of years, like in the last 10, 15 years, they have really been, that program has really changed. And so my friends get mad at me sometimes because they be like, well, you be rooting for Ohio State. How did you root for Cincinnati? And I was like, but when Ohio State plays Cincinnati, I still go for Cincinnati no matter what. So, I mean, I am a Bearcat. I love them. And that's my game. That's my game this week.
Got you. Sarah C., final thoughts as we close out the Level Up podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait for this weekend. I'm really intrigued to see. I really want to see how this Big 12 just keeps shaping up week to week. I'd like to see what happens with this SEC. I want to see how many teams end up being ranked next week if one of these teams takes over each games, because they're all playing each other. I mean, it's that time of year now, so who can beat up who? So, I'm going to finish off my birthday week with some really good football. So I can't wait. And yeah, happy Halloween.
Happy birthday. Are you a Scorpio?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm born Halloween, baby.
Too.
Halloween.
I'm a November Scorpio, but yes, well, happy birthday.
It's going to get diabolical this weekend. I can already feel it. Hey, listen, if you haven't liked and subscribed, and subscribe to the KnoItAllz channel so you can catch the Level Up College Football podcast and all the other content that's available on the KnoItAllz podcast channel, make sure you give us a like button. Make sure you get the subscribe button and leave some comments, because we will interact and engage with the comments that's left after the show. As for your boy Big G, my co-host Theresa-B and Sarah C., we will holler at you guys next week as we close out another edition of the Level Up College Football Podcast. Holla!